Noticing the bottom of the feet, feeling the pressure in the bottom of the feet, that is gravity and your connection to the ground. Once your awareness has settled to the bottoms of the feet, becoming cognizant of your connection to the ground, let that feeling, connection, trickle upwards to the body. Once you've allowed the body to generally open, be aligned, vertical. One of the best or nicest things, I think, to help with relaxation, release, settling, easing, is the idea, image, and feeling of water dripping off. So whether that be, we can start with just the fingertips, water dripping off the fingertips. Every once in a while, tune back in, because again, when we settle weight, again, this is related to weight underside, it's related to many things that we talk, it's related to thinking chi, releasing the test use, just different tricks. This is another one of the tricks in our handbag, water dripping off the body. And again, we always have to watch that it will tend to pull it down. So we have to use the ping or awareness to notice that, and then intention to realign again. So with those things in the back of the awareness, focus on water dripping off the fingertips. And they might start with big fat drops of water, getting finer and finer, smaller drops of water. And let the out breath go. Fog dripping off the hands and fingertips. And it's very helpful to get very, very, very specific sometimes. So imagine the water collecting to the very, 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 very pinpoint center point of each fingertip. Getting very, very specific can be very helpful. So it's not just dripping off the ends of the fingers, the water collects to the very, very pinpoint center point of each fingertip and drops from there. And notice what sensations occur and that are triggered by this, tingling in the hands, how it changes the hanging of the arms, what it changes somewhere else in the body, awareness that it brings somewhere else in the body. So keep the thing open, keep the listening on. So as we do the intentional thing, the E, have an intentional activity, keep the thing open. We have this intentional focus we're using. Stay open with your awareness. Stay open with the listening. Notice what happens. What I find is a very nice addition to this, or slight variation, is the water dripping off the fingertips, hitting the ground at my feet, like you're standing on some nice soil, either some sort of nice ground, natural ground, and noticing and visualizing, even feeling as the water drips off the fingertips, hits the ground near my feet, and the water disappears into the soil. Following that process for a while into the soil. I find that very soothing and very calming. So even if it's just for the first moment on impacts ground, those droplets of water dissolve, spread into the ground a little bit, right into the soil. Again, once in a while, remind you to release the abdomen, emphasize the out breath. Stent the skeletal alignment, and then go back to the dripping water. Another variation of this is water dripping off other parts of the body, either the arms as a whole, down to the fingertips, or the entire body. like you've just come out of the shower, or you've just been in a rain shower and you're enjoying that fresh rain, fresh water running down all parts of the body. One reason why this is such a calming, why it's so organically calming. Again, water, very, very natural. Water is naturally completely weight underside, right? It always finds the lowest places to dwell. We talk about weight underside, settling, sinking, the tissues dripping off the bones. It's the nature of water. So we tune into water on our bodies. It's very soothing, very calming, very organically settling. Water, its nature is to sink, its nature is to settle. So we can really connect to that. So trails of water drops down many, many lines of the body. So noticing what variation of water dripping or water drops really works for you and really has an effect. Again, simply we can bring the out breath, really emphasizing the out breath and releasing on the out breath while we do this, specifically the water drops or water dripping, but just the out breath, just on its own, really emphasizing the out breath. We can connect to that more and more. More and more intention can enter the out breath, and we get better and better at more powerfully releasing a lot of tension just by the conscious out breath. So let's spend a few moments with that. You can even leave the dripping behind if you want, unless you're still getting some really good effect from that. Just the out breath, intentionally using the out breath, can be really, really potent in draining tension out of you, pulling tension out of you. So the out breath becomes the exit for tensions, becomes the exit way. Just a slight variation on that, another imagery with the exhalation that can be very triggering and helpful. If this, what I've said so far doesn't do it for you, sometimes this is very helpful. Imagining tension riding piggyback on the out. So again, just another visualization, all these different ways and phrases, different things will trigger for different people. So your tensions, your mental tensions, physical tensions, biochemical toxins, tensions, leave the body out on the out breath. And by the way, that's physiologically literal. Our tensions are released from the body on the out breath. So what's fascinating with reminding ourselves from time to time, up to 70% of our toxins, physical toxins, chemical toxins, up to 70% of our toxins are released through the out breath. So we don't just release toxins by going to the bathroom. We don't just release toxins by sweating. Those are things that we know about and are intuitive. We understand those things. Something that we often don't think about or never knew, up to 70% of our releasing of toxins is actually through the out breath. So physical toxins, muscular tension, biological toxins leave the body riding piggyback on the out breath. Now, of course, commencement is a relatively simple movement. And so any simple Tai Chi movement, individual Tai Chi movement or Qigong movement, that's very, very simple, is excellent for really focusing on releasing tension. Okay. Because of its simplicity. So we can really get into the movement of the energy or the movement of the breath the emphasis of the exhalation, and really focus on letting go and the releasing process because of the simplicity of it. So just taking commencement, so, and maybe now using commencement very specifically, consciously, as a releasing movement, relaxing, releasing movement, giving it that specific purpose. And that will adjust how you do commencement, speed of it, and how you actually perform commencement, giving it that specific purpose and focus. About relaxing, releasing, letting go of holdings, habitual tension. Again, another tactic that we often talk about and use is physically and consciously use less and less effort, less and less muscular, less and less exertion. So that's a tremendous focus and indeed meditation. And it could be any movement really, but repetitive movement. And each time you're consciously reducing the amount of muscular work, muscular exertion. Each time it's less. In fact, you can decide to cut it in half each time. So really really sense how much muscle work is going on, because some muscle work has to go on. So really try to tune into engage the degree, the amount of muscle work that is happening, and have the awareness and the intention to reduce that each time. And to kind of bring a couple things together, what you could do is as you do this classic movement called commencement, imagine water is dripping off of you or off of your arms and your hands and your fingers and fingertips as you do commencement. So that can be very potent. Check your breathing. Of course, imagining that your muscles are hanging off your bones. Now, one of the movements that I find extremely calming, releasing, this one. Flowing out, drifting to the front. The hands slide into each other. Very softly, you're not grabbing, just like a puzzle, gently sliding in, drifting down as the palms turn upward, settling down. No effort, less and less, less. Drifting forward, drifting forward, drifting forward. Slide into each other. So again, another little tool to help release physical tension and exertion. It's not up, not doing up, you're flowing out. Just like we do in commencement, right? Outward, in this case, out to the side. So not up, out to the sides, open the shoulder joints out to the side. I'm not bringing them in, flexing the pectoral muscles to bring them in. I'm flowing out in front of me. Longer, more open. And then just working with gravity, letting it come in towards the body and down. So I'm just letting gravity do that, pulling the elbows down, which brings the hands into, I don't bring the hands into my chest with my arms. I let gravity take my elbows, that folds my arms and bring them to closer to my body. I don't bring them in. Dropping the elbows with gravity brings the hands close to the body. And again, letting gravity take them down. Outward expansion is why the arms go out, not because I'm lifting them, just an outward openness. And then a little bit more of a forward vector, that openness, opening, not a lifting or holding up. And then agreeing with gravity, letting elbows agree with gravity. Let the hands agree with gravity. And there's a gentle, how much is up to you, but there's going to be a slight rising as the arms go out. Breathing in, And breathing out, slight sinking. Here, breathing in, a slight rising. Here, breathing out, slight sinking. So here is breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. You breathe in for the rising, and you sink on the exhale. So go at your own pace, of course, but less and less finer breath. The breath becomes smooth and long, finer and finer. The movement becomes smoother and smoother until it becomes almost no movement. The rising and sinking becomes something that just kind of happens, you don't do. It's very, even just the intention, allowing a rise like a balloon filling with air, rising, doesn't try to rise. A balloon emptying a little bit, the balloon doesn't try to sink, and it's completely natural to sink. Less and less and less. Release the shoulder joints. Enjoy the process of exploring the envelope of how much you can release, how much you cannot do in terms of physical, muscular, how much can you use less and less physically, but not just physically, not muscularly, emotionally, feeling wise. How much can I let go? How much can I do less, less doing, less doing, less of a hurry, less trying to get to an end point, less trying to get to an end point, less trying to get to a certain place, and just opening, expanding, flowing, being, letting go, not just muscularly, letting go all levels, all directions, all ways. How much can I let go? How much can I release? How much can I just let go? How much can I not be in a hurry? How much can I not get to the top position or the end position? No. How much can I just not do that? I don't have to get there. I don't have to get there. I'm just hanging out, flowing, opening, expanding. I don't have to get anywhere in particular. I'm just in the process of opening, process of releasing, process of letting go, process of open flowingness, not trying to get to any position or any endpoint. So we're noticing how much there is that tendency to want to get to an endpoint or wanting to get to the next position. And be willing to be less of that, to have to hold on to that goal less. It's normal. We all want to get to that endpoint, have that intention to get to the next part of the move. Notice that normal tendency. And just see how much you can back off from that, how much you can be softer with getting to the next part of the move. If you were in water or in space, there wouldn't be any hurry. You'd just be drifting, naturally drifting, naturally open and flowing. You wouldn't be having to try to get to any endpoint. You'd just be enjoying that weightlessness, that openness, that freedom